वीडियो स्टार्ट करनी है तो
सर वो रिकॉर्डिंग लगी हुई है पहले से।
ओके फाइन, नजर नहीं आ रही ना, आई कैन नॉट सी द साइन ऑफ दैट रिकॉर्डिंग।
रिकॉर्डिंग।
ठीक है, ओके ओके, लेट अस स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द CCL HRMS super user responsibility. We already have completed our business group setup, which is linked with the key flex field structure, and we also completed the profile option in our last session. Now, for example, I want to create a new employee. Okay, let us start from creating a new employee, and then from here you will automatically get an idea. When we are creating a new employee, after entering the personal information, there is a screen which is called assignment. Okay, and assignment is the screen where basically we want to enter the employee work history. Means wherever the employee is assigned, what is the department, what is the grade, what is the job, what is the payroll, all these kind of things we need to create for an employee. But so far, I think currently we can only create a simple employee, and in later stage, when we will complete the different steps of the assignment screen. Here you can see the assignment button. So this is the assignment screen. Once we will click on it, you will get an idea. So as I described in our previous sessions, that you can see that whatever the employee, whenever the employee we want to create, we can change the effective date, because today is 27 March 2021. Okay, I don't want to create my new employee with effect from today date. I can create my employee in a future date as well. For example, the person we hired and interview is completed, everything is finalized, we give him the offer letter, and on the after accepting the offer letter, we already mentioned that the person will join with effect from 1st April 2021, for example. So what we can do, we can click on effective date, and we can change the date with APR 2021 like this. Okay, and once we click on this, okay, so after that you can see now the date is showing 1st April 2021. And once I will click on new, I will fill all the information. I try to click on save. This employee will automatically be saved in future date. Means before 1st April 2021, if you will see this, want to see this employee, you cannot see. Okay, until unless you have to change the date and of the system, and then click 1st April to 2021, and or after 1st April, then that employee information will be available to the business user.
Sir, for
this
example,
is the key. Means yeah,
sir, for example, he doesn't join our organization on 1st April. Then what we will do?
We can we can change that date as well. Okay, we can change. Means we hired already, but the person didn't join. A person said, okay, I try my level best, or whatever, sick leave or any personal issues. Based on that, later on, once he joined, for example, he will join on 5th April, but we created the employee on 1st April. So there is an option, we can change it. There is an option. Okay. But the option is until unless the employee's payroll is not run. Any process, no need to run for that employee. Before that, we can change that date into the date when he joins. There is an option. Okay. So this is the one and major key of the date. Means whenever we have to see any information or create any information or the record which we already have uploaded for the HR core module for any organization, we can play with the dates. So this is the beauty and the flexibility of the system, that we can create the employee with effect from, for example, now I'm going to create this employee with effect from 1st March 2021. Because we created the setup based on 1st Jan 1950. So whatever we want to do, we have to do after 1950, and we don't want to go before 1950, because the business group date is created on 1950. So that is a huge past date which we always give for any organ setup in the implementation. Based on that, we have a room of time that we can upload all the things and historical data as we discussed. But so far, as we are just discussing about the new employee, we can create the employee with past date, with the future date, and with the current effective date. Okay. Now, for example, on this screen, whenever you click on the screen, you can see the type. The type is basically, we have 3 types. As you saw in the business group creation, there is applicant number, there is contingent worker, and there is employee. So by default, it automatically comes an employee. If we want to create any contingent worker, we have to select the type. Based on the type, once we click on new and we will enter the information, it will create a contingent worker employee number. And if we want to create any applicant, then we want to click on the type and we can click on the new and enter the information. Based on the information, we will save that record, and then one applicant number will generate it. So every 3 types have different employee numbers. Means numbers generation will generate automatically. Okay, because we already set the option automatically. You remember that in the business group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, what is the difference between employee and applicant? Here in Oracle.
Applicant is based, yeah. It is almost the same, whatever the process we work in a global scenario, means in different organization, whenever any employee is going to hire through recruitment, through recruitment process, through recruitment module, means, whenever any we advertise a job, okay, we publish that job, and based on that candidates, the candidates who are trying to apply through the portal, through the external portal or internal information, and all these basic information, upload their resume, and once they submit it, they are still the candidates. Okay. But after that, once we start accepting their application, they become an applicant. Okay. And once their process has been completed, means our first interview conducted, second interview conducted, somewhere there is third interview also conducted. So after all 3 interviews conducted or any test we want to conduct, all these processes has been completed. After that, once the offer letter is generated, that applicant become an employee. Okay. So this is the whole cycle of the employee and applicant. And the contingent worker is basically the workers, means the people who are working as a contractor, daily wages, contractor peoples, any other internee employees or other different employees who are not the permanent employees, those become an contingent worker. And most of the time, their payroll is also not being processed from the Oracle, because they are their payroll is going to generate from the third party. Okay, so these are the three types, and we are going to create an employee first. Now click on new. Once I click on new button, that yellow fields become yellow. Okay, and you can see here the date which we entered is also showing 15 March 2021. And even here also 15 March 2021. This is the date which is going to be end, means from and to. Whenever any employee is going to be terminated or ended or leaving the company, we have to end date that employee as well. So based on that, once we will end date, whatever the start date will be, means for example in December 2025, this employee is going to be leave. On that time when we will do end date, here that date will come automatically, and the employee's history will be closed here. That is the one thing. Okay, the other, here you can see a different blocks. This is one section where you can see the name, the personal information, means last name, first name, title, prefix, suffix. These are the basically the terminology which they use. Most of the time, middle, first, last, and title name is almost used in all the organization. So this is the section where we can click on male or female. Okay, then there is an action. Once we click on this action, we can for example, just a minute, let me restart my mouse. Okay, so once we click on this action button, we can see different option like create an applicant, create employment, and create other, and create placement. Create applicant is linked with the applicant type. Okay, create employment is linked with the employee type, and create others is also a option with the contingent worker, because they are not the employee. Okay, so create place before, but major three options are the main options which are linked with the type which you saw on the main screen. From here, even if you can click on find window, I hope, no, it is not appearing. Field must be entered, it is saying. Let me complete, and then I will come to this portion again. The person type is basically when we are creating an employee, that person type will come automatically with the action. Okay, let me just fill the options first, and then we will see in detail. The last name will be Khan, first name will be Imran. Okay, and the title will be Mr. You can select the list of value here, as I described in my previous sessions. When you can see all these options, you can enter these options here. Basically, these list of values are driving the values from the lookup. Now, this is another topic. Means lookup is basically the standard LOVs, list of values, which we can add our information, our values as well. Okay, and we can use the predefined list of values as well. So these are the basically titles. With the screen, you can see the title, and through this title we can find this title in the lookup, and from there we can add more titles if we want to. Okay, but standardly whatever the titles are, those are the titles can be used which Oracle already been defined for the application. For example, middle name is Javed, something like that. Okay, so this is the first block which we filled. Now I will click on the action. and based on this action, create employment. Here, employee identification will come. And once I will save the record, the person type also will appear. Number one thing. And once we will save the record, then employee number will generate. That is the option automatically appear once we will do this. Now, if you see here, all the yellow fields has been completed. Means if I want to try to save this record, I think I can, okay? But I want to give you more detail about it. So first of all, if I am going to enter the date of birth, which is also a mandatory for this saving the record. And once you enter this date, you can see the age automatically appears. For example, now I want to enter the record from Lahore, date, town of birth. You can say status is basically married, not married, divorced, something like that, living alone. So this marital status is also a lookup. You can enter more information if we want to. Okay, so this you have to get an idea that we can enter more information in these sections wherever the LOVs is appearing on the first screen. And this screen appears from enter and maintain. Enter and maintain is the menu function. Under that function, you will find this complete employee information. Country of birth, you can mention Lahore as well. For example, now I'm entering the information of that employee. It is not saying like this, it is saying country of birth, sorry, it's not area. Registered disabled means, is there any disability of this man? Okay, so if there is no any disability, you can leave it blank. So if it is blank, it automatically thinks as null. So whatever the value is blank, it always be assumed as null value in the database. And as a nationality field, once we click on this, you can write down same Pakistan. You can click here P and you can select and you can enter any. By default, almost all the countries' names are already been there. So this here you can see one more section, this a block section. So this is basically a DFF, which I told you last time that there are in the key flex field, we have two types of flex fields. One is the key flex fields, which we discussed, remember? And the second one was the descriptive flex fields. So in this, and I told you on that time that the descriptive flex fields will automatically appears on a different screens. When the time will come, I will show you. So on this screen means these, wherever you see the bracket option, and that is the enable option. So what you can do, you can click on it, and what you can do, you can add more values over here, more fields. So key flex fields also have the same structure, same screen which key flex fields have. So this key flex fields name is additional personal details. After once I will save this record, I will show you about this descriptive flex field as well. So for example, we want to enter more information of an employee. So what we can do, we can add more fields here, open fields here. Okay, so once we open the fields from descriptive flex fields section, it will automatically appear here. Okay, I will show you and you will get an idea. But at least you can now see that wherever this bracket option will appear, you have to know, you get an idea now that these are the descriptive flex fields. Okay, now if I want to click enter, these are the basically different tabs. Okay, I want to enter a different tab over here. I want to click office detail. This is not an applicant because it is not coming from applicant. We are hiring directly in the system. Further name, any honor name, preferred name, or previous last name person sometimes have. So we don't have that kind of information. Availability schedule is related to the schedule of the worker. Basically, this option is for those employees who are who have different working types. As you can see that in a week we have 5 working days and 2 holidays. Okay, and if somebody have different style here, somebody have Saturday and maybe Sunday off, something like that, and somebody have only Sunday off, rest 6 working days. So you can select this option, but this is going to be only for here. It will only use as a record purpose. If you use here, it is only for your own record purpose, but we can utilize it when the Oracle time and labor module is going to be implemented. On that time, we can set that here for individual employee, and because in workers they have sometimes 6 working days, and employee in the head office they have 5 working days. Okay, so based on that we can set this availability schedule for them. These are the basically different type of options which sometimes required, sometimes not required. So these are not that kind of such type of information which you can see. I want to enter a, you can say the 5213945-5, the ID number as well, national identifier number. So these are the basic information of an employee which I entered, and now I'm going to try to save this record. Let me click on save. Once I click on save, let's see what it will do.
Sir, this screen is for end user, super user.
Yes, for the super user, for the HR user, not for the end user, only for the HR employees.
Okay.
Because end user will use the employee self-service. They are not going to use this. Whatever they will see, they will want, if they want to update their employee personal information, they want to add their contact information, beneficiary information, that will be used through the employee self-service. This is not for the end user. This is only for the key user. Means HR assistant, HR executive, HR managers, they are going to use this information because employee is going to hired by an HR manager or HR executive. Okay, so it is not going to use through for other employees. Means end user is not going to see the screen.
Okay, then
so
sir,
as you see the person type,
then what is the role of consultant on this screen?
Consultant is the person who is going to set everything on this screen, because he is the person who wants to see you. Now you saw that once we, as a business consultant, we created the structure based on the company requirement. Okay, so we basically, a new user, for example, I am the consultant, and I implement this Oracle HR core module for one of the organization. Definitely I will guide and I will train to the HR managers how the HR manager come directly and he will do everything. Okay, you get my point? Means at least this screen means, as I mentioned here, related to action. What is action? What is all the other options are there. There are many other options. Means now we can add an address, picture of this employee, assignment, is related to other information, which I will explain you in later stage. Special information is related to the self-service. Okay, that is the whole button is related to self-service. And in other button, there are many other options are there. Okay, once I click on others, you can see absence, you can see, or these all are the different functionalities. These are the different function. I mean, here you see phones, person usage, type usage, qualification you want to enter for this employee, you want to enter school and colleges, work preferences, medical assessment. These all are related to the employee screen, and these are all are the different screens. For example, I click on phones. Okay, what will happen? A new screen will open. So what it is asking, you can enter the phone number for this employee. For example, I want to enter the mobile. Okay, now these are the different screens there. Na? So we want to enter this information, and we will, the people as a consultant who will guide to the key users, we will give them the training, and based on that we can do many different things on this screen. So let me click on, for example, record history over here. Here you can see this is a screen where you can see that this information which you entered is going to be entered in the per people V, and V is the view, which you can see here, table name. Even you can see the history, that who and which user created this, means this user created. But for example, you created this record as a Sham.Abbasi, but on 1st April 2021, some another user will come as HR manager, or someone else will come, and they come on this employee and they add address and they click on update. Then what will happen? Shams created will be Shams, but updated by will change, because it will change by another user, and you may trace that record as well, that okay, this person, this user will came and he updated something, and now you can get an idea who changed it. So Oracle also give you this information, that on which date and what time he did that. Every record audit related information is also being traced by this, by clicking on help and clicking on record history. You can also get an idea under the table, and you can also see the created record and the updated record and updated date. Okay, so that is also one key option which you can see here. Even you can see date track history from here as well. You can see here that this is the record which is created. So far there is no such kind of update happened so far. This is the only one record is created. Okay, so that is also one information here. Now you can see the person type is employee, and the employee number is started from 1. Okay, so another employee, once we will create another employee, automatically the number will generate it from 2. This is because we are creating an employee. Now, for example, we have 5,000 employees already.
Yes.
Okay.
This was
and we upload, yeah, and we already have uploaded the 5,000 employees, and their employee number is from, for example, from 1 to 5,000. Okay, I'm just giving you for a basic example. So the employee number is 1 to 5,000. So now we want to create an employee number from 5,001. Okay, so there we can write down a formula, number one thing. And the second thing is we can do some personalization on this form. Based on that, whenever the employee will create it, it will create 5001. And next will automatically will be generated 5002, 5003. This is one option. And second, for example, they said we don't have a sequence like only number 1 or 5000, something like that. We have some code also using with the employee number. For an example, they want to use CCL-1, CCL-2, CCL-3, something like that. So that also can be achieved, but it is required is some technical tasks, some personalization, which we will do in a later stage. Okay. Because if I will jump in that section, you will become confused how we will do it. But basically this is the basic information which you can have an idea that we can generate the employee number as well, because as we said in the system, the employee number need to be generated automatically. Where? In the business group. So where we have already set up, based on that, it is showing 1. But after that, if we want to create the number option from 5000 plus, means 5001 number will need to generate here, then we have to do some different techniques. We need to use the formula, or we do need to create a personalization, which I will guide you in a later stage. So this is the basic information. Now, for example, I'll click on assignment now. In the assignment screen, now you will see that here is the basic information automatically coming. Why? Because so far we only created a business group. You remember? So we created a business group, and based on that business group, whatever the security profile we have set, it is showing me this organization. But definitely we don't want to create this employee under business group. We want to create this employee in a different department. Okay. Now the one section is, we will go into the organization screen, which is under the work structure. Once we will create that departments, then we will need to create the jobs. Here is again the list of value. If I will click over here, I will click find, there is no job is coming here, because we didn't create a job. We set the key flex field structure, but so far we didn't create a job. After that, we have to set the grade. So once we click on the grade list of value, I want to search any grade which need to come. It will not appear because I didn't set the grade structure. So these 3 fields plus position plus people group. People group will come here because you can see this. As you see now, we created the key flex, people key flex structure in the people group. Remember? So we mentioned there, yes, I want to give this car allowance to this employee. So I want to say yes. I can make this option or optionally, these fields optionally, but so far I make it mandatory, you remember. So we can also change it, because the point is, if we will not fill it, the record will not save. Okay, because all the yellow fields are the mandatory fields, and once we will fill all those mandatory fields, then our record will save. System will give us option to save it. Otherwise, system will give us to please enter the information. So this is the people group field. This is the job. This is the grade. This is the position, and this is the location. And so far, we also not created any location so far. These are the dummy locations which are appearing because you location have no any security options. So it will showing here so far because we are in the vision instance. That's why all the location code will appearing. So once I will now create the location, grade, job, position, and the payroll. The payroll name is also very important, which we want to say that this employee will be linked or assigned with which payroll. Is going to be assigned under the monthly payroll or a weekly payroll, something like that. Most of, hopefully in CCL, I think you people are running the payroll on a monthly basis.
Monthly basis, yes.
Yeah, so we will create one of the payroll name as well, and then we will select here. After that, we can enter a different option over here. This is the salary information, because this is related to the payroll, number one thing. So we will, once we will go into payroll section, we will create that salary basis as well. Supervisor is basically that we will say that Mr. Imran Khan, manager will be Mr. Ashtiaq Abbasi. So what we will do here, we will select that Ashtiaq Abbasi employee number here, and this will be the supervisor of Mr. Imran Khan. And based on that, there are many other functionality on this supervisor hierarchy. Okay, and we can also do, once we will go for self-service, you will see that, okay, that the absence created by Mr. Imran Khan and the his absence annual leave need to go to his first supervisor or first approval. Manager. So first approval or second approval. So it is based on like that. So it here we have to set that managers, supervisors for every employee as well in the system, and based on that, system will get an idea. Okay, this employee have this manager, definitely this employee, Mr. Abbasi, Ashtiaq Abbasi have a different manager in Ashtiaq Abbasi employee record. Okay, so that different informations are there. Probation and notice period, sometimes we have 6 month length or something we have here. So here you can see the choose an option. Now you will see here that update and correction. In the Oracle HRMS, as you see, we created this employee on 15th March 2021. So far, we are already entering some information. So what we will do correction. Number one thing, correction will not create any row. But for example, if I will click on update as well, we are already on 15th March. The system will not create any row. But for example, if we are on 16th, 17th, or after that date, okay, after 15th March, if I am trying to enter any information, then I will click on update. Okay. And once I will click on update, system will create one more row. Here on 15th March, we are, for example, we will be on 20th March. So what will system will do on the assignment screen, system on this date, 20th March 2021, system will create this record, and the previous record will also be there. So for example, if I will go back date on 6th or 15th March or before 20th March, I will see my previous information. So this is the date track system, which you will more get an idea when we will go for that. For example, I'm just clicking on correction. I'm not going to save it, but I'm just showing you the 6 month length is 6, and it will be month you most of the time. So we can enter that. So on 15th March 2021 is the hiring date. On 14th September 2021, this person's 6 month more probation period will be ended. If there is any notice period company want to set, they can set here standard condition is same working hours. You can set some working hours if you want to. Okay, it is just also for the information. Statutory information is also a tab. It is basically most of the time it is linked with the employer. That is related to the business group, which we didn't set so far. Okay, there are many other options here. Okay, which we can do it. Purchase order is related to the purchasing section. We never going to use it until unless the purchase order have some link with the accounts or something like that, because this is related to the ledger. Okay, again, these are the specials, ceiling tab, project information, because in most of the organization, few of the organizations, they are using the projects as well, project costing or project department. So they want to hit this employee who worked on a different projects, for example. So they want to do some billing of one of the project to this employee. They can set here. Grade ladder is basically related to the grade section. We will go there and we will discuss on it. So far it is not set. That's why list of values contains no entries. Purchase order information. Yeah, please.
Sir, in previous lecture, we didn't create job, grade, position, group in value section.
Yes, yes.
That is not interlinked with this tab.
So far it will not. But now I'm going to that screen, and after that again I will come to that screen. Then you will see how we are going to set it. Let me now close it, because I want to create one employee today. No? So we did that. Now what we are, so based on that employee, you automatically get an idea. Okay, job, grade, organization, group, position is on the assignment screen, and it is not showing any record. So now based on here, your concept will be more clear. That's why I come to this screen first. So now our record is created with effect from 15th March 2021. Okay. So I want to go into my work structure menu, and I will first let us create one location as well. Okay. So let me create that location with effect from 1st Jan 2020. I'm going to enter every setup information with 1st Jan 2020. We already create the business group on 1st Jan 1950. And now it's all up to me based on the company established date. If we want to set that, we can do that, set create. For example, CCL will be established in
1965.
March 1965. Okay. So based on that, we create the location. We will create the organization as well. And even we can create on 1st Jan. But what we are doing, we are creating after the business group date. So that will automatically appear in the for the employees in the system. The scope for the location is global and local. I don't want to make it global. I want to make it local. So local means it will only show to this business group. Okay. And global, it will show to all other entities as well. Okay. So let me create a local one. Let me say CCL Islamabad. Okay. For example, I set here Islamabad is one of the location. I can mention CCL Karachi, CCL Lahore. So these kind of locations I can create. Okay. So these are the address styles. Okay. I want to set that this will be the address style of what is the address. For example, I want here still the address style is not here. means we have to change it, but so far, okay, very strange that Pakistan is not appearing. Okay, so because so far it is not mandatory. Number one thing, if we will not enter, that is not going to be impact anything. You don't have to worry about it. So inactive date is, it means if we want to say that this location is going to be end on some date, or maybe sometime happens that company established in different locations and one of the location is closed, it is not going to be used more, so we can automatically end date inactive date we can enter, and based on that it will not appear in the system with effect from that date. So let me just create this CCL Islamabad with the name as a local address, as a scope of local. So one transaction is applied and saved. Now I'm coming into the organization. I click on organization and click on description, and I will create those departments, few departments. We already on 1st Jan 2020. Okay. I'm going to create a new department. For example, I want to create finance, number 1. Okay, I will select a department type. With effect from this, I will say that this is going to be in CCL Islamabad. It will automatically come to Islamabad. Okay, once I create that, I will click on save. And here I will also enter okay, I will click on here, and in organization classification I will enter HR organization, because department is linked with organization. I will again save this record. And now I'm going to create a new department with the name of human resource. I will click department. Okay. Again, CCL Islamabad. Save the record. I will click on HR organization. I will click on enabled, and I will click on save. The second department, let me create information technology department. CCL Islamabad. And organization enabled, and 3 departments is created. Now, these departments created under the organizations section. We will come on these sections in a later stage. Okay, sir. Let me now come to the job. Now under the job, we will come into description, and here we will see the job group and other information. Let me click on job group, and I want to see this is the job group, which is
we created
the key flex field. Yeah. So what we want to do, we want to select a first job name. See, these are the jobs which we already set in the system in the independent value set. So we want to create first actually this is the section how to search, but I'm not going to search it. I want to create it. So let me come again so you can better idea description. Let me come, because here you can see job group. Okay. So you can see here job group as well. So you can create your own job group, not here like control F11. This is your job group. So what you can say change, because this job group is already linked with job structure which you created. You get my point? Here you can also change the name as well if you want to. Okay. I'm just, that's why I come onto the screen. We can see CCL jobs, where it is already created HR7903 job group name. You can create your own name. Description. So far I'm using the same. I don't want to change it. Here I want to, because I click on new, I will click on job, and now I will click on accountant. This is my job. A job with this name already existing on this system. You want to continue? Yes, we want to. But because it is created under different group, okay, it is not created under this group before. That's why it is asking, because again we are in vision instance. That's why it is saying this option. Okay, there are different other options which rarely used. It's only on depends on organization internal policies. Means if we want to evaluate this job, we can evaluate it. Evaluation is a different process. It is linked with the performance management, because whenever, for example, this accountant performance status is going to means annual appraisal is going to be updated and everything has been done based on that. Now accountant is going to change from a senior accountant. Okay, it's promoted based on its overall score and measured and everything. That score is basically coming from the performance management. So that is linked from there. Work preferences is basically the screen where you can see that you can enter a different information, travel required for this position, relocation, passport required. All these are just a extra information. Even if this person maybe want to deploy it in international countries, if they have any other, if CCL have information or offices in abroad, so they can set this information. And sometimes you also know that the person, when we advertise any job, okay, so we also entered few of the work preferences that for applying this job, maybe willing to relocate. Sometimes you maybe saw that travel required for this position is must. We will check this. This kind of information comes from a job advertisement as well. Okay, even we also in basically in international jobs, you will see these kind of work preferences options in the job advertisement. Okay, so these are basically those kind of informations which is required. Valid grade. Sometimes jobs are linked with the grades. Okay, so currently there is no job so far. Grade is there. That's why other grades are not coming. So once we will set the grade, it will, you can set this accountant based on this grade. Okay, so you can set that with the job. Requirement is again extra information that is also related to special job information type, which is basically that this job have some requirement or something like that. Means it's all extra informations which we can capture for this job. And here you can see also again that screen, the section, means this section is here. You can also add more information if you want to. You get my point? Okay. Any extra information for this specific job. So this is the first job which we created. Now I change it. Now let me click on new. I want to enter my other jobs as well. For example, CEO. Okay. Save. I want to click new one. I click down arrow key. Means first key flex structure we created. Then in the key flex we set this value sets independent and we enter these values. Okay. Based on these values, now on the job under the work structure, we come here and we have to assign those jobs with in the job screen. This is the way to set up all this information here. For example, now this is enough for the job section as well. Now let me come to grade. We will discuss position tomorrow because that is a lengthy topic. Let me come to description. So here we see that we can create the sequence number, but here you can see we already created that list. Remember? So that list is coming here. Based on that, we will set here the grade, all the grades. Even you want to give any short name, you can. Even any further information you want to enter, you can. This is basically again a DFF, basically. Okay. So we don't want to go into detail. This is again a very extra different information which is required. We don't want to go in that detail. Most of the time it's almost standard. G2. I will select G2 and it's appear here. I will click on down arrow key 3. Once I click on tab, I click 3G. I click OK. So this is the way you have to set over here as well. Now, once we will do set here, after that, once we will go after that into the employee record. Okay. You will see that now information there. Now let me go into the people, enter and maintain, and let me find the employee, for example, here. Okay, where we are in first gen. Now you can get an idea. Yes. Now you have more better idea. We are in past. So we have to change the date first because we created the employee on 1st March 2021. Yes. So now once I do this, I can see my employee now. You get my point now? Yes. Sir. So this is the basically whole impact of the CCL. So far, there is no job name, no email address, nothing. So that's why you only see this basic information. Now you will see here, once we will go into the employee record, find what we will do. We also will enter the email address, a dummy one, for example, Khan.Imran at, very nice, Khan.Imran at the rate ccl.com.pk. Okay. So this is official email address we want to give. So once I give, I save it. Now I save it saying me correction. Why? Because I am on same date, the same date where the employee was created. That's why it's only asking me correction. So based on that, whatever I will do, it will do no change. It will not create a row. Basically, it will enter the information on the same date. That is the difference between update and correction. So now I click on assignment. Once I click on assignment, now you will see the departments here. You get the idea now? Yes, sir. So for example, I enter the human resource department. I want to create correction. Even, for example, I click update. It will do me say the record started today. Okay. update more, change to correct. You get my point? Because we are still on 15th March. We are not there. So I want to, okay, I want to give yes. I want to give no. I want to click okay. I want to give him manager. Okay. See, because I know the name, so I write down and it's come appear here. So once I click on job list of value, for example, you click here, percentage find all those 4 jobs which we selected in the job section. Under the work structure, it automatically appears. Okay, sorry, it's selected accountant. I want to set manager. I want to see the grades. I will see the grades. Okay, so I want, for example, I want to see G3. I want to set the location, CCL, one location I have, so I enter this location. Position, so far I didn't create it. I will create it because position have different impacts, different relations, and I will describe you tomorrow. Payroll, so far, because we didn't create it because that is related to the payroll. That is the complete structure I entered, basic with the assignment, and based on that, now once we will go for other options in I will explain you in different stages as well, because this is the complete part of the work structure. If you see here, organization is linked with the departments. Job is related to the key flex fee structure. Okay, the grade is related to the grade key flex structure. The position is also related to the key flex feed structure. So all these structures, see here under the work structure, location, organization, job, position, grade. These all are the 4 major, and the competencies as well. Competency will come here. For example, I want to create a competency. Now, once I click on name, now you will see an error. We will resolve this error tomorrow because this is related to the key flex field structure error. Okay. So we will see what the error, and but it will automatically, what will happen once we click here, na, that the same key structure which we created for competency, na, it will appear here. That it was the only thing. We will see it tomorrow. Okay, sir. Because career management is related to competencies and rating and levels, and it's also linked with the performance management. So we'll discuss in detail next section. ठीक है जी, ये है आपका almost पूरा HR core का complete setup. Okay, so here this is how we discuss in detail about what is the business growth, how we will do structure the business growth, and based on the structure of business growth, we want to create the key flex fields. We did the key flex field structure, and based on that, now today we create new employee, which is basically hire an employee. This is also creating an employee or hire an employee are the same thing, because once you created means you already hired him, na? So you hired this employee. Now you can see, once you are searching this employee, you can see that organization name here, manager here, his email, the complete information. Okay, and definitely we want to create a user for this employee as well, because this employee need to you can say want to see the other employee self-service information as well, but that is a different module. Once we will go there and we will discuss on this. ठीक है ना? तो ये है basic core detail HR core module का structure. ठीक है जनाब? ठीक हो गया सर. सर इसको आप जी जी
सर ये पूछना था, इसका जो आज का है